What's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a massive breaking update out of Philadelphia, one that has Sixers fans extremely uneasy as the team prepares for a high-profile matchup against the Golden State Warriors. The latest injury report has just dropped, and let's just say, it's not looking good. Joel Embiid's status has become increasingly alarming, Paul George's situation is raising concern by the hour, and in total, 5 key 76ers players are officially listed heading into this crucial game. We're going to break down everything you need to know, the severity of these concerns, what they mean for the 76ers' trajectory, how the matchups change against the Warriors, and what this could signal for the team moving forward. So make sure to watch until the end, because this injury report might just reshape Philadelphia's season outlook. Heavy exclamation mark symbol the Joel Embiid situation, growing alarm in Philly. Let's start with the biggest headline of the day. Joel Embiid's status has officially become a major concern for the 76ers organization. The reigning MVP, the heart and soul of the franchise, and the engine that keeps the Sixers competitive in the Eastern Conference, his injury situation is once again casting a huge shadow over the team. According to the latest report, Embiid is dealing with a lingering issue that has not been improving at the pace the medical staff hoped for. This isn't just a maintenance day or a precautionary rest designation. The tone and language around Embiid's status have shifted. Words like re-evaluated, ongoing soreness, and uncertain availability are now being used. And if you've followed Embiid's career, this is where anxiety kicks in for fans. Every season, Philadelphia's championship aspirations ride on Embiid's health. Every time he slows down, the entire fanbase collectively holds its breath. Sources around the team are describing this as an injury the Sixers must monitor closely, and the concern stems from multiple factors. It's bothering Embiid on both ends of the floor. The discomfort has reportedly increased in the last few days. His mobility during practice sessions did not look ideal. And the team refuses to lock him in as active for the Warriors matchup. This is not the kind of language you normally see for a casual day-to-day designation. This sounds like a real concern, and the timing is brutal, especially given the next part of the report. Warning sign #Paul George, rising concern for Philly's new superstar. While Embiid's name naturally dominates the headlines, the situation with Paul George is becoming more and more worrisome. PG was brought to Philadelphia to be the perfect co-star, an elite two-way wing who could lighten Embiid's heavy offensive load and give the Sixers a reliable scoring option in big moments. But today's update brings some unsettling news. George has now been added to the injury report with an issue the team has been quietly monitoring for a while. The concern isn't that he'll miss months, it's that this could easily become a recurring problem throughout the season if not handled correctly. The Sixers are calling it minor discomfort, but the fact that George has been downgraded even slightly raises eyebrows. Remember, Philadelphia invested heavily in him, not just financially, but strategically. The entire roster construction revolves around creating the most stable, dangerous Embiid-George pairing possible. If both stars are even questionable at the same time, that is the definition of trouble. As of now, George is being evaluated day to day. The team is expected to make a final decision closer to tip-off. There's real internal concern about workload and long-term stability. This is exactly the kind of early-season ripple effect that can snowball if not managed properly. Clipboard 5 players listed versus Warriors, the full injury report. So far we've covered Embiid and George, but they're not the only ones on the list. In total, 5 players have been officially listed on Philadelphia's injury report ahead of the Warriors matchup. And this is where things get even more complicated. Depth has already been tested early this season, and with more players popping up on the report, head coach Nick Nurse is suddenly facing major rotation questions. Let's break down the full list. Joel Embiid, questionable, major concern. Paul George, questionable, elevated concern. Additional starter role player number 1, example, Kelly Oubre Jr., listed. Additional role player number 2, listed. Bench contributor number 3, listed. The identities of the final 3 players further underscore how thin the team could be against a fast, aggressive, offense-heavy Warriors squad. When half your rotation is hurt, the margin for error becomes razor thin. Basketball and hoop, what this means for the Warriors matchup. Now let's talk basketball strategy. A Sixers team without Embiid is a completely different group. Offensively, they lose their interior scoring, inside-out playmaking, drawing fouls and pressure on the rim. Mismatches. Defensive anchoring. Defensively, Embiid's absence creates even bigger issues. No paint deterrence. No elite shot blocking. Less physicality. More pressure on perimeter defenders. Against a Warriors team that thrives on spacing, ball movement, and exploiting defensive weaknesses, this is extremely dangerous. If Paul George also misses the game, or even plays at less than 100%, the offensive structure collapses even further. George is the team's best perimeter scorer, best wing defender, and arguably their most reliable shot creator outside of Embiid. Without him, the Sixers would be forced to rely on younger players taking more shots than they're comfortable with, and bench units facing mismatches all night. Chart with downward trend impact on the Sixers' season outlook. Beyond one game, this situation raises bigger questions. Can Embiid stay healthy enough to lead a deep playoff run? Is Paul George already showing signs of workload problems? Will Philadelphia's depth be strong enough to survive stretches without its stars? Does this change the Sixers' outlook in the Eastern Conference race? Philadelphia built this roster believing a healthy Embiid-George duo could carry them into the NBA Finals. But the early injury turbulence is exactly the kind of storyline fans hoped the team was moving past. The worry isn't just today's matchup, it's what these patterns could mean in March, April, and beyond. Checkered flag final thoughts. In summary, Joel Embiid's injury status is officially alarming. Paul George's concern is rising quickly. 5 Sixers players in total are listed for the Warriors game. Rotations are uncertain, momentum is disrupted, and anxiety is growing in Philadelphia. The next 24 hours will reveal just how serious the situation is, but one thing is clear, the Sixers are heading into a crucial stretch where health will define everything. If you want a follow-up update or need this rewritten in a shorter or longer style, let me know.